I think that the Savages paid her or asked her or whatever have you be. Somehow they met up with this woman and tried to set up R. Kelly. As far as, when I say set up, I mean trying to get information, to have somebody in the camp infiltrate and be an informant. And I think that's what they did. I think they got her to infiltrate the camp. She got in and she went looking for Jocelyn. And because that was her mission. Jocelyn was her mission. And she went in there. She stayed for a little while because she didn't want to make it look so obvious, of course. She stayed for a little bit, a couple of months. And she found out whatever she needed to find out. Saw Jocelyn. Went back to the parents. Told them what was going on in that house. What were the things that were happening. If she conversated with Jocelyn at all. If she got to talk to her. Blah, yada, yada, yada. So now, this was the plot to take down R. Kelly. Because now the father has a better picture of what's going on with his daughter. I think that's what happened. I believe that's what happened. And great job, Tim. Great job. If you did that, great job. I applaud you. Because you try to do something. You had to try to get more evidence that this man was being the man that people were claiming he was being. You know, and that was good. So she did her job. She did what she was supposed to do. And I applaud them for doing that. You know, that took a lot of hard work to do, you know. He just threw another bit. Excuse my language, I shouldn't say that. He just threw another girl in there to help out his own daughter, you know, and she was willing to sacrifice herself to get him information, you know, and find out what was going on. So that's just my opinion. That's not fact. That's just my opinion. And then earlier this year, Attorney Gloria Allred, who was representing several of R. Kelly's accusers, including the latest woman in Minnesota, she had held a press conference alleging that Kelly had been trying to intimidate women from telling their stories. She said, Allred said that when accuser Faith Rogers came forward last year by filing a lawsuit against R. Kelly in New York for sexual battery, false imprisonment, and willfully, deliberately, and maliciously infecting her with the STD. Kelly posted photos of Rogers without her permission and then threatened to expose any correspondence of her sexual nature that they may have had. So, he sent a letter. I saw the letter. And he sent it to her attorney, to Gloria. And that was the dumbest thing in the world. I don't remember what lawyer or whoever it was that wrote that letter for her, because the information was on the letter. He literally tried to intimidate her legally. Like, he went and said, I need this lawyer. You need to write this letter. Let this girl know that if she tries to say that I have herpes, or she tries to put me down, or tries to go forward with her case, I'm going to blast all her pictures and all her sexual content of her doing whatever all over the social media. Like, what kind of a man would do that? You see, a guilty man would do that. Because if he's innocent, why is he trying to intimidate her into not speaking her truth? Or intimidate her to not filing charges against him? Like, there was a recording of her and him talking, and she's trying to ask him about the situation and about her getting the herpes and what he's going to do about it, XYZ. And he was like, I don't want to talk about this. We got to talk about other things. Are you coming back to me? That's all I want to know. Like, that's all he was worried about. Like, what? Ugh. I couldn't. That man is disgusting. And he's guilty as charged in my eyes and in the eyes of the court of the law. Even though he hasn't gone to trial yet, they say innocent until proven guilty. But he's not innocent, y'all. At all. Okay, so then he went and he posted the pictures on Facebook in a page called Surviving Lies, which was taken down by Facebook. And then a second grand jury had been convened in the Southern District of New York based on investigations by both the FBI and the IRS. So, he's being indicted. He's been indicted under the Northern Eastern District of New York. That's where the federal charges come from there. But they also are investigating another one in the Southern District of New York based on investigations by the FBI and the IRS. So he's being investigated by the Southern District of New York, by the FBI and the IRS. So I guess now the feds are trying to look into the next charges will probably be about his taxes. That's probably what the Southern District of New York charges are about. I think it's probably his taxes and maybe not money laundering, but maybe extortion or some things to that nature, I'm pretty sure. And they said that this Southern District of New York investigation comes after prosecutors issued a subpoena for one of Kelly's former accountants and his manager. It's likely all of these investigations may have had a hand in the latest indictments against Kells. So, okay, so his accountant and his former managers. So that's probably, what's his name? McDarrell David and Jim Brown, I believe his name is. I guess those are the guys that are in the Southern District indictments that'll be coming up pretty soon, whenever they're ready to come forth with that. They're still doing investigating. So they must be going back through years and years of his taxes and where his money's going and paperwork and bank records and all that stuff. So, and then also the Department of Homeland Security had reportedly, they formed a group of investigators to wade out through potential evidence about Kelly's alleged sex crimes. Specifically looking into when he may have transported underage girls across state lines. So every time he went on a tour bus, or took a plane, or sent an Uber, So these girls could go to his concerts or meet him at the hotel rooms, stuff like that. So, yeah. So Homeland Security is dealing with the sex trafficking charges. And this new case, so, like I said, that the Homeland Security is doing the investigation on the sex trafficking charges. And this new case may hinge on a young woman in Florida who alleges that she was indoctrinated into Kelly's supposed sex cult when she was just 17, which is considered to be a minor in the state of Florida. Because in the state of Florida, legal consent is 18. So if he initially had sex with her in Florida, which is supposedly what had happened when they first met and she had her first interview, if they had sex in Florida for the first time, then yeah, the charges will be pressed against him in Florida for that alleged sex crime. So, the Clarys are a part of the Homeland Security indictments because they have proof that he did those things. He did these things. He took her from the age of 17 to be with her, and he had sex with her at the age of 17 in Florida in the hotel. And that's that. So that's what that's all about. Other than that, the Clarys have nothing to do with anything else except for that. So let's get that right, y'all. Okay? Just understand that. That's what's going on. So now, could Kelly face even more charges if authorities find additional evidence of wrongdoing, or if any credible witnesses continue to come forward with evidence and statements? Kelly could certainly be charged with any number of additional crimes ranging from kidnapping and false imprisonment to sexual battery and statutory rape, or even witness intimidation, all of which can carry fines and prison time that vary from state to state. So each charge he's going to get, it's going to be different. It's going to vary from New York. It's going to vary from Chicago. It's going to vary from Georgia. And it's going to vary from Minnesota. So all these things he's done in these states all have different charges, different sentencing and fines according to the states, you know. And so he's done, y'all. He's done. I don't even know what more can I say. Like, how much more can I explain to you guys that this man is never coming out? He's not. He's being... And like I said, even if they drop some charges, or throw some out, he's still gonna do time. Period. Just like Harvey Weinstein. He's gonna do some time too. His time is coming up. He's gonna do some time too. Bill Cosby's done. He's done. He's in there. He's done. That guy Jason Pope, he's done. He really ain't coming nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. Ain't nothing happening with that guy. And then he got AIDS, and he's giving AIDS out to these girls. Don't worry, I'm gonna do a report on him too. Trust me, I got stuff ready for him too. So even so, the defense in a case like this would want to consider what type of jurors may be most sympathetic to their famous client, while the prosecution would be looking for jurors who are sympathetic to women